Okay.
E36 Unfiltered, aka the Unfiltered room with Mr. E Gray. Introducing all the latest names and the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound, but keep it old school. And raw interviews from local athletes, even digging off and entertainment too. Own style, he got his own lane, it's unfiltered out, but keep it raw, man. New content to keep the people ready. E36, no Jerome Bettis, real dialogue and real conversations. You keep it real, but we real. Mr. E Gray in the building. E36 Unfiltered.
Welcome everybody. How you doing? It is your boy E Gray for the E36 Unfiltered Live Podcast Show. Guys, we have a special guest. We are back. As you've seen, I've been playing Welcome Back. And that's kind of a twofold type of deal. Not only for E36 Unfiltered, since we hadn't had an actual live video in quite a while without being pre-recorded. Also, welcome back home to a hometown legend herself. Decatur High standout, 6A champion with the Decatur Red Raiders, the last championship basketball girls team they have had. Went to a standout University of Alabama career. Roll Tide, we in the house. And last but not least, going to her fourth season, her longest tenure at any stop as a coach at Palm Beach Atlantic University, none other than the luxurious legend, Manisha Redus. How you doing?
Good, man. I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to connecting and chatting with you today. So thank you for having me. Absolutely.
It's been an honor and pleasure, like I said, for you taking on, for even accepting to come on to the show. Before we get started, guys, you know my motto, what we need to do here. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that share button. And if you in here, guys, go ahead and hashtag E36 and pop down your location down there. Location at the bottom, guys. Again, it's hit that like button, share this all the way around, and hashtag E36 with your location. All right. So let's jump right into this. So you are now the head coach, and I see the PBU on the PBA. Okay, PBA.
There we go.
For Palm Beach Atlantic University. You're going into your fourth season, the longest tenure you'd have at any stop. What was that for you from a mental standpoint? I saw you put a post up around August sometime, and I think that's when I initially like, hey, okay, that's what's up. Let me reach out to her and see what happens. And but anyway, this is your longest tenure. So how unique and perspective inside your mind was that leading up to you hitting that third, going into that fourth season for you?
Oh man, it's obviously, I think COVID made us all like do a lot of self-reflecting on just kind of like, where are we? What's going on? What's next? Tons of uncertainty, all those things that the pandemic brought. And so just going into this year, just really thankful for the opportunity, thankful for getting back to some normalcy here at PBA. Yes. And I know across the country, in college athletics, in athletics in general, on every level. And so that's all the things I think about. And with going into year 4 is that I've never been anywhere other than being in school more than 4 years, more than 3 years. And so I've been joking with people saying it's senior year, and I'm gonna keep tacking on eligibility, but it is just reflecting on what an amazing opportunity this is, that I don't take lightly, and that I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and just kind of continuing to reflect and be thankful about that every single day. But as the start of this year was happening, it was, I don't know, crazy to think like I've not ever been anywhere this long, and so this is really special to feel like I'm somewhere where I'm supposed to be, and we're really trending in a really positive direction.
Okay, I love that, and let's speak on that because, like I said, we're gonna dive a little bit about that COVID, because to me, like I as crazy as it was, I can only imagine being in a sports atmosphere, having to lead young women and also your staff that has family, friends, and things of that nature, and navigating through such an unprecedented time. So going through that process for you. You guys actually, so you came into this, you came in 2017, 2018 is when you initially got hired with them and going into that. And then I think at that time they had been a first year into the new conference. And so it was brand new, not only for yourself, for everybody. It was a brand new turnaround. Team had a lot of winning in the Sunshine State Conference. I think they won like the first 4 games altogether for the season. And then you matched that this past season, matching the win total from the previous season, and you only did it in 11 games. So how has that process been, and then how unique did that make 2020 for you, being that you guys matched your win total from the previous season, but it was a shortened season, and you still guys maximized, but in your mind, like, man, we probably could have really did a lot more. I know you had to have that taste in your mind. So how did you guys deal with that mentally, and what did you take from that season?
We came into it, and obviously once we knew what COVID, how we were going to have to try to navigate through it, and we're getting pushed back, and then the uncertainty of, are we going to play? Because it was a roller coaster ride. I know it was for the student athletes, and you know this, there's already such a demand for our time,
Yes,
our
yes,
focus. And so to now have that kind of interrupted, we're routine people, right?
yes,
And
yes,
so a preseason, a regular season, a postseason, like that's our world. And so for our kids, it was like our routine was blown up, and
yes,
it, just kind of protocols that were put in place. And so we're starting, and then we stop, and then we put on pause, and we're
yeah,
quarantined, like
yes,
roller coaster ride of what that was. A lot of it was, we focused a lot on our mental health,
mm,
and
mm,
we tried to do where we're saying, okay, we got to get stuff done. We still really tried to put a premium on the mental health aspect of things. We have a theme every single year and a focus for our program. And last year it was that we were empowered for excellence. And so,
mm.
stemming from verse in Second Peter that talks about God has equipped us with everything that we need to navigate anything. And
All
so,
right.
it we had to sit in that and just really believe in that and trust in that like, no matter what comes up, no matter what we get dealt, we're empowered to still be excellent in it. And so, it, not saying every day was perfect, because we
Yes.
did. And so again, being a leader for this program, it was that, trying to really speak that into our players every single day. Still trying to stay in our bubble and stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for whatever we were going to get, that we'd be ready and prepared to compete.
Okay.
Still being a competitor and saying like, all right, we got to get out here and we got to work,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
dealing with just kind of uncertainty surrounding what every day was going to bring. And so that was it. It took it day by day and tried to be excellent in everything that we could control. My dad says that all the time: control what you can control. And so
Mm,
we had to live that out last year, because COVID took
truly.
so much control away. Things that we came easy, now we're like, you have no control over it. You've got to go
Yeah.
based on who's available
Yes.
and what are the protocols and all that stuff that came along with it. And so we just tried to be excellent in whatever the hand was that we were dealt.
Okay. Okay. Now, a question for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure the size of the roster that you guys have or limited to or whatnot. But for you guys, did you come with an additional game plan? 'Cause I talked to a former player of mine. Matter of fact, he was there when you was there. Not sure if you remember Big D. They call him. It was my God, what's Big D name? Dennis Alexander.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so Big D. So Big D was talking about like, man, God, we having to come with, and even got a Todd Bates, that's at Clemson now. He had
Yeah.
mentioned like, man, we had to come with multiple game plans, meaning, okay, we had to plan for if a coach go down because he get COVID, somebody got to be able to coach his position. Or I know it's not. I know it's not as big as a staff it is when it comes to basketball
Right.
compared to football.
Yeah.
But they had to do this. Okay, if we lose this player, okay, we got to be willing to switch to a certain type of coverage. To accommodate for you guys may go from a man to a strictly zone or time to kind of change of offense. Well, those type of things having to be put in place just because of so much of the unknown, but knowing you have to be prepared to play the game either way.
Oh gosh, game planning was like on a whole other level because of um, each school's doing stuff differently, right? And so
Yes.
what our testing procedures were, somebody else's could have been different. Post game, once now people's results are coming back and
Mm,
somebody's getting knocked out, and so we would go literally into weeks, into days before games, thinking, all right, we've got 6, we've got 7, we've got
yeah,
8, we
yeah,
can
yeah.
play. We had a roster of 15, and there were some games, morning of game, we're getting ready to get on bus and go, and all right, 3 people got cleared, y'all come on, come play. And so it was literally that, where it was tough to game plan, even the preseason, where you're kind of saying, all right, let's practice with these 5 in a group together,
Yes, yes.
because all right, if somebody gets knocked out, at least all right, we've got this group. So it
It's a
was
lot.
crazy. Yeah, it's way different. And so you kind of went into it hoping that the preparation parts of it um were as solid as they could be. But
Yes,
all right, who's going? And we're going with that 6, 7, 8. Same thing for every other team in the nation. But yeah, it was you never knew week to week
yes,
like who you'd have, what may happen, and then you just kind of go with it. And I
exactly.
mean, schedule, and we only played 11, but
Yes,
man, we were shifting, and all right, this one we can't play, we'll make it up, we'll try and make it up. And so
yes, yes,
it was that for a month and a half maybe. And so we it coming down to it, you kind of felt like the teams that maybe had a full roster and
hmm,
stayed healthy and whatever, would maybe kind of get on a roll because you're playing together and you can kind of finish strong. But that the mindset coming into it was that, figuring out for our young babies, so our freshman kids,
yes,
tons of experience, game experience that they wouldn't have normally gotten. And so because of the way our roster looked some nights, we're throwing those guys into the fire and saying, all right, welcome to
cutting their teeth quick. Like, come on, let's
go
go.
figure it out. Yeah. And so again, for them, the introduction to college, they got something that they wouldn't normally get. And then obviously with the NCAA granting years back, now their freshman year was just kind of a warm up for now what we hope is a full season coming up. So that was a win for us, is that we felt like people got game experience, got introduced to this league. Our league is tough. And so that part of it was really, really valuable to us. And so we wanted to play well. You want to
Mhm.
win. We go into every game and you want to win. But the experience that our kids got and the way they fought and battled every night and went into
Yeah.
games not knowing who was going to be out there with them, those kinds of things, I think, yeah, so it was way different. But I think we navigated it as best we could.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, speaking of the players, and you talking about PBA and everything, so I want to kind of highlight some of the things because as I was doing my research, I found it to be very interesting about the team. What you guys, even your introductory from the athletic director, from being introduced as to the head coach, back 4 seasons ago, going into your 4th season at that time, 4 years ago, and they said I've seen a lot of the players. She said, to help bring these young ladies to get a better, become a better person, better Christian, and better basketball player and academics. So they brought all the things into the fold, and I'm like, okay. So, and then I looked at some of the research of some of the players, and one of them still got stood out was, I'm not sure if I pronounced the name right, but Saya Williams.
See
Uh,
ya. Yeah.
Sia.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sia Williams. So she said she chose, and I think this is unique because I want to kind of dive into this for a little bit. She said, I chose PBA because I wanted to grow closer to God while playing the sport I love. I always wanted to go to church growing up, but never got the chance due to a drastic change in my mom's coming to America. PBA gave me the opportunity to balance my dreams in one. So it sounds like you guys are a school that really has a strong faith as well in Christianity, it's God in general. So how important was that in the process of bringing you to PBA and you accepting that job at PBA and such a mantle? Because it seems like it's more that's unique. You don't hear that too
Right.
much. That it's more than just the academics and the personal development and game. It's increasing in your faith. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that.
You're right. This is PBA is a faith-based institution. We're a Christian institution, and for a number of our players, may not necessarily come to this environment as believers, but there's something
Uh-huh.
intriguing about PBA and wanting to grow in their faith. As Sia said, that is attractive to them. And so
Yes.
even personally, this is the first faith-based institution I've ever worked at. And
Mm.
so it was a different vibe even coming into it. Obviously, my foundation in life, my mom would be happy, my parents would be happy for this, but my foundation in life growing up was in church. And
Okay.
so going to college, and I think this right now for my players is that so there's this foundation that you grow up with, and it's usually mom and dad waking you up every Sunday
Let's
and
go.
Wednesday and Friday, and they're saying, get up, let's go to church.
No
And then
choice.
when you get to school, now it's your choice, and you're having to make decisions about your own your faith, where you are, you're thinking about that stuff because now mom, she may text or call on Sunday mornings and say, are you getting up going to church?
Yeah.
But you can say yeah, but it's ultimately your decision. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, go back to sleep. Okay, yeah, I'm getting up right now, mama. Yes, I am.
Right. And so the cool thing about PBA is that, like you're saying in introducing it, is that we get to combine those worlds. And so as a basketball coach, coming into it, coming here, God knows exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. And so for
Mm,
me, part of coming to PBA was helping me strengthen my own faith and me
mm,
beginning to walk differently as a believer, because I was in charge of really shepherding these young girls that I'm coaching. But we know athletics is it's life lessons, and so
yeah.
a big part of that life lesson is that where are we in our faith? And so PBA fosters an environment that we're saying Jesus, we can pray, and all of none of that stuff is abnormal. Um,
Wow,
it,
wow,
it's
okay.
the centerpiece of everything that we do here, and so in our program as well, it's the centerpiece of our number one focus is how are we growing in our faith. Our athletic department, our motto is that we want to develop Christian game changers. And so that's
Wow,
the aim, is
wow.
that at some point the ball is going to stop bouncing,
Mm,
all of that. And so now how have you grown? We've got 3 program goals, and they're to grow, to grind, and to graduate, but that growth part is number one. That how are you growing, and the spiritual component is a big part of that. And so what are we doing every single day? And so again, for me coming here and really diving into more and more, because I don't want to just write stuff out and we got these cool mottos and all this
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but
Sounds good.
how am I being an example by the way that I live, for these young ladies? I had
Yeah.
my aunt, and I don't know if she's watching this, Aunt Alice. Um,
Alice, where you at?
yeah, when I first got into coaching, one of the first things she said to me, because I got into it, I'm like, I love ball. I want to get out here and
Yeah. Make
pay
some winners.
forward what the game gave to me.
Yes.
And she said to me one time, "Are you being a witness to those young ladies, though?" And it blew my mind because at that point, that wasn't even a thought process, really. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
okay, I've got, my own where I need to grow spiritually and focus on that. It's a personal
Definitely. Definitely.
relationship, but to now be able to live that out in front of my team every single day, I don't take that lightly. That's a huge part of what my purpose is. And coming here helped me to grow that more and more. And now, it's we're walking together in our faith journeys. And so for these kids that come here, they're going to get that, and
Yes.
they know that coming in. We don't talk about PBA during the recruitment process and not talk about what we're going to do from a spiritual standpoint as a part of this program and what they're going to get being a part of this university. And so it's so important.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we navigate through and they navigate through just being a student athlete and being a
Mm.
college
Yeah.
student is so important. And you know it, right? We got to
Yeah.
tap
Yeah.
into a higher power.
Definitely.
6
Definitely.
a.m.s, we're running on Friday. Boy,
Stadium, everything.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I
And
can
so,
stand Coleman Coliseum. I ain't like that stadium. I thought I wouldn't. That's okay. Why be running this stuff again? Yeah,
oh,
I ain't
boy.
playing. I ain't signed to play basketball. This is I
Yes.
don't be here.
Oh
Let
yeah.
me.
No, we
Yeah,
hit the cue. We get in trouble, go hit the cue.
yeah,
So but it's such a cool part. PBA I love because there is a certain freedom here for kids to be right where they are in their
yeah.
faith journeys. If they're coming here and they're being introduced to faith, to Christ for the first time, what does that look like for them? And so that is a really cool thing to be a part of, to be able to introduce it to them sometimes. But I don't, again, just want to talk about it. I want to live it out in
Mm.
front of them every single day. And so the faith component for us is huge.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So this is what I want to dive into even a little bit more is as because you guys may not know. So we spoke earlier this morning, and she was actually already on the ground. Like she was at a basketball game right now,
Yeah,
the early this morning, checking out a recruit and everything. Doing what she do. So she's definitely committed to the game. But what does a and this thing for the parents as well to hear people that's on the line. What does a recruiting and I want to use that word pitch because it sounds so cliche, but what does a recruiting pitch sound like? And what are some of the things that you guys are looking for out of a player, especially to come to, I say specifically for your criteria, because everybody has different criteria. Every university have different needs and things of that nature. But what are
mhm,
some of the criteria that Coach Redus looks for, especially bringing a player to PBA with his unique standards of
yeah,
living off the court as well as playing on the court?
yeah. Um, we obviously want you to be at least okay as a
Want to be a baller.
basketball player, right?
She
Um,
said you gotta be a baller. She was a
you
baller.
get,
You know,
we
okay, she want a baller. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
there we
Being
go.
nice. I ain't gotta be nice like that. I ain't gotta be flippy. She want a baller. Go ahead.
We do. We want you to be a good basketball player. Obviously, the introduction to it is that we see what you can do on the court, and there's something that you do that we feel like you could come do it here, and it's a really good fit for us.
Yeah.
You know it. Recruiting is literally relationships,
Mm.
and
Yes.
so over the course of my tenure as a coach, it's building relationships with the grassroots coaches, AAU, with high school coaches, with other college coaches, because now how many times does a colleague call and say, "Hey, I've got this kid you should take a look at?" And so we're
Yes.
getting from
Yes.
JUCO coaches, we're building relationships with these people because now we're going to ask them the questions about these kids. And so it's important, I think, for young people to really want to have a good relationship with their high school coaches, with their AAU coaches, with their
Yes.
junior college
Yes.
coaches,
Yes.
because we're gonna ask these people. Yeah, we're gonna want to form relationships and hear it with the kid from the kids, but we're gonna ask those coaches, the people that are in their circle of influence, what's this kid like? And I want them to be completely honest with me.
Mm.
Tell me all the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we don't want you to sell this kid and then they get here and it's nothing like you said.
Yeah. Can't
Then
fit into the
we're like,
culture.
okay, yeah, that relationship's done. We don't trust you anymore. We want you to give it to us straight. Um,
Gotta get on that. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Tell them how important that is. I'm sorry. How important it is. How you can literally ruin a relationship for, and then and on down the road, you can ruin the chance for another kid that literally fits the criteria that what you're looking for. But you
Yes.
trying to sell that other kid and sell pipe dream to the university. Now they like, no, I'm good. I don't trust that.
Yeah,
That's it.
no, you can't take back what those impressions are. And so getting a kid and they not be anything like you said, then it makes us look twice if you call about another kid, because it's like, that last one we got from you, it
Yeah.
wasn't what you said. And so it is it I'm going right now. Certain coaches could call me and say, hey, we've got a kid we want you to look at, and we're going to go look at that kid because of the
Yeah.
relationship and the
Yeah.
track record of it. And then there are others because of that same thing that if they call and say, hey, we're
Okay.
like, okay, but
Yeah.
you're not going to make it to your gym. And
Yeah.
so that part of it, we want you to keep it real, and we want kids to be able to be their authentic selves. And so so we see a basketball player, there's something you do that we really like. The next part of it is that you're going to be a student athlete. So how are you academically? And so
Yeah.
we're looking at that stuff because we want people to come here and say they're going to be able to take care of their books. Because if you don't, you're not playing.
Yeah.
And
You
so we there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to want to be a really good student. We have a 100% graduation rate. So I want kids that want to come here and leave with a degree. And
nice.
so throughout the course of it, make our team GPA look good. Like that makes me look good. But
Definitely. Definitely.
get in there
Definitely.
and really, because again, the ball's gonna stop bouncing, and the academic part of it is gonna be the most important thing that you do. And so, basketball player, be a good student, and then we want them to be a good person. And
Yeah.
there's no reason we look at those three things and we say, are they checking those boxes? And being a good person is because we're going to spend the time. I'm really relational, and so we're going to get on the phone. COVID, we FaceTime. We're not yeah, we can text a little bit, but when I'm talking to kids, we're on FaceTime and we're talking because I want you to see me and I want to see you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I tell my Coach Dixon, and I talk about this all the time. I want to love a kid that's coming here. Like if we're offering a scholarship and saying, hey, we want you to come be a part of this team, I want to love that kid. And
Yes.
I want them to love and want to come to PBA. I want them to love this school. And so it you're not supposed to get offered a scholarship and it kind of be like, well, okay, because we're not gonna half offer it to you. We
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
love
Yes.
you and know that you're gonna add value to us, to our program, and to this university. And so it's work on your craft, love the game of basketball, and love it in a way where you're not gonna fall out of love with it when you get here. We want you to keep loving it when you get here and really dive into wanting to be a good student. Because again, nothing's going to happen if you don't take care of the academics. And then we want to connect well with people as they're getting ready to come here. We're going to date in essence, right? We're going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take the time
Yeah.
to get to know you. We want you to get to know us, where we try to pride ourselves on saying we're not going to change just drastically. Now it gets a little intense. And so we're laughing and joking
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
giggling and all that stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
And we still want to do that when you get here. But please understand, when we get on that court,
It's
we turn
real.
it up a notch, and it is. So
Go.
in recruiting, I want kids, and I think kids should do this wherever they're going. Go watch a workout, go watch practices,
Mm.
because now you get to see those coaches in action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
are they way different than what they are on their telephone, and now they're whatever? Nah, come watch. I don't want there's no shame in what we do. We don't have any secrets to keep. So come watch us, come watch how we do things. And we want them to connect with our players too. I don't mind them going off and spending alone time with our players, because the message that they're giving off, I surely, hopefully, they're not bashing what we do. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yes.
a real account of what their experiences are. And so for recruits, again, ask every question, get every question that they need answered. There's never a dumb question. We want them to keep it real with us. If it's something that you need to know, say it. Because if it's something that we need to know, that we need some clarity about, we're going to ask it as well. We're going to get the answers that we need. And they should do the same thing. You're choosing a school that you want to be at for
Just
4 years,
5 years. Yes, very
it's a
important.
crucial time in life. You're transitioning into adulthood. And so you want to be in an environment that's going to help you grow and become the best version of yourself. And so we get to be picky. Recruits should be picky as well. But we want to see a bad game. So don't get so if it, oh no, I had a bad game, so it's a wrap. No, we want to
Yeah.
see how you respond in
Yes.
adverse situations. So all of that stuff comes into play as we're going out and we're going to grind. Like it recruiting happens every single year. And I tell my players, y'all should make it tough for us to go out and look for
Replace you.
people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're supposed to go find people that are better than you, and then they get here, and it creates a level of competition that's going to make us better. And so it's I love recruiting. I absolutely love it because
Okay.
we don't get better if we don't have players, and
True.
so that's the most fun part of this. I love my team. I love being here, but I also love wanting to add really quality people to our family so we continue to get better.
So and that couldn't been first of all, yo, she just gave her the key. Parents, if you're listening, coaches, if you're listening, she just gave you the key to exactly what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? And but I honestly know I don't even have no little ones, but I have nephews, and nieces. Honestly, I want to hear a coach come in and talk like that to my nephew and my niece. Like, hey, this is what we're looking for, and I can feel that genuine. Okay, we could care about them as a person first and foremost, and then as an athlete. Athlete, we know we hear it because we know they got the skills. That's why we here in the first place. But we see the other aspects, so that's very important. And another thing, coaches, parents, don't do be lying like that, all right? Because guess what? I've been in the recruiting meeting room, and that player that got brought in by the other staff person, he got to answer the head coach if that player turned out to be trash or
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
That is not a comfortable situation. That is not everybody sitting in the meeting room like who recruited this person. I mean, you want to be coach, but that's a whole that's a whole other deal. So now we're going to talk about, man, the Redus family. You guys, man, about notorious to know about your father. If you don't know, give you a little rundown. Before I go into that, once again, guys, we are here on the E36 Unfiltered Room Show, talking with Manisha Redus, head coach of the PBA girls basketball team and former University of Alabama standout. If you don't know what that PBA stands for, once again, that is Palm Beach Atlantic University. Bomb weather. I'm jealous of that, as always. But yeah, she's here on the E36 Unfiltered Room. So your father, man, great guy. Balls of athletic ability, hail from Limestone County, Tanner High School, went to Calhoun, and then from Athens State. And then it went into the league from Athens State.
Yeah.
Had a luxurious 12-year career, finished up in, I think, 94 with the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And so to play into a professional level for that long, just to make it in general, and to play for that extended period of time, I can only imagine what that household was like, moving around, first of all, and then with your siblings and your younger brother, Gary Jr. What was it like growing up in the household, the expectations of not just to be a great on the court or whatever, but just the competitive nature? What are some of those things that was instilled in the household? What was it like growing up in the household, your father being who he is,
I loved it. I'm a sports fan, and obviously him being in the major leagues as we're growing up only added to that, and obviously is where that comes from. But I was a huge baseball fan.
Okay.
And so now being in the same rooms I was a Ryan Sandberg growing up. When my dad was with like the White Sox, the Pirates, those teams,
yes.
I was a Cubs fan because I loved Ryan Sandberg. But being able to, Barry Bonds,
legendary,
Bobby Bonilla, Doug Drabeck, when he's with the Rangers,
Talk
Nolan
your history.
Ryan,
Talk your history.
Jose Canseco, Juan Gonzalez, like all these guys, like I'm in just sports fan heaven. Um,
Wow.
just being but then my dad, you know what I'm saying, was like always that guy. And so just seeing the way he's one of the most humble people you'll ever come
Yes.
across. And
Yes.
so
Agree.
um the the way he approached doing what he does, even seeing him coach, because once he got done playing, he coached for a number of years. And so even to this day, where it's so cool to be able to share stories. And if something's going on here, and I'm saying like, oh gosh, this situation, and he'll give an example of either from when he played or his time as a coach, that resonates and is just the absolute right thing that I need to hear.
Mhm.
So as a not just a dad that was really cool because he played on the
Yes.
highest
Yes.
level, but also somebody that's a mentor to me as a coach, is just unbelievable to have. Um, I obviously got into sports. I was born on his birthday, so I don't think I had any choice but to play.
Wow.
I joke with my brother all the time and say that I got all the good genes, all the most athletic genes because I was born on his birthday.
Ah.
But it I don't think seeing him and now wanting to model, man, softball was my first love for a long time.
Okay. I'm finna say
And
yes. Yes.
so I played up into my senior year in high school and had the opportunity to play on the college level, but just wanted to stick with basketball. And so, but it all stemmed from my dad and seeing him. I share my favorite memory of him from his time in the majors was when he was
Mhm.
with the Chicago White Sox. And I don't know who they were playing. So this is back in the 80s, right? Late 80s.
Yes.
And he hit a grand slam, walk-off
Woo.
grand slam to win a game. And this is when they were
Ew.
in Comiskey Park. And so he hits the grand slam. I'm not even 10 years old at this point, right? But we're at the
Yes.
stadium and I hear these fans start chanting Gary.
Oh
And
wow. Wow.
like
Yes.
that's my dad's name. And like even thinking about that's one of the most vivid memories I have from that age of like being um in a baseball stadium and hearing however many thousands of people chanting your dad's name, knowing he just did something absolutely incredible. um
Absolutely.
is
Absolutely.
is is chilling to think about. But he's the ultimate example of just diving into your craft, wanting to be the best at it, working really hard, being just an amazing leader for our family,
Yes. Yes.
and creating just an amazing life for us. Where now I know we strive. I don't have kids of my own, but I've got a whole gang of nieces
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. I think
nephews.
safe to say.
And so it set a tone for our family, just to strive for greatness. And I'm a LeBron fan, so that's a cool thing to say. But
You know, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
he
The goat, man. Don't stop
he
playing with
he
me.
set that tone though, for our family. And again, now having him as a mentor for me as a coach, is just unbelievable. To And I told him, as we're kind of going through our struggles trying to get this thing turned around, I'm like, you may not have you want to watch because he is like super intense with it as
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and texting and wanting to get down here and get on the court with my players and stuff like that. And so it's just because of the way we're wired, though. And I even
Yes.
forewarn some players sometimes. I'm like, all right, my dad's coming to the game. So you get ready because you're going to hear it for as quiet of a guy as he is. And
He
I'm
can't forget
similar.
that.
I have convos with my players. We talk about being extroverted introverts,
Yes.
that
Mm.
basketball makes us our octaves go up a level, and he said
Absolutely.
that same way when it comes to sports for him. I think he for all the humbleness and quiet nature that he has, when he gets when it gets intense, you're gonna hear it.
Yes.
He's a really good basketball player too,
Oh,
and
really? Okay. Didn't know
we
this.
had
Okay.
tons of backyard horse and shooting game and all of that. So it was the coolest thing in the world. I fanned out all the time, um, because of just seeing other sports stars, but then for him too, like he's the ultimate. And I do part of my why is that I want to make him proud. And so my mom, I'm sure my mom is watching too, and now she's a huge mentor as well, because being
Yes.
married to somebody that's sports and moving and getting us, and
Can't be easy.
never missed a beat, never missed a beat. And so was supportive then, and is just ultra supportive now. And so that foundation just for family is the foundation that I lead my team with. In that we're gonna stick together. What do we need? I got your backs. I overcare. And that all stems from my parents. Just the intensity of wanting to be the best and being really competitive, um, caring, all of that stuff is what my family was. And so it's second nature to want to build my team, that family environment,
Yes.
in that same model.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's hit this. So now we go to another. Let's cut to another aspect of your winning ways. So we know it stems got from your father, your mother. Just being that support. Your father being that driving force of showing how professionals does it, and just approach things. So you, Decatur High was the bomb, the everything. Some even calling you the goat on here. As a matter of fact, I got some who is this? Danette Adams. She was talking about earlier. Hey, yo, speak, Coach Reader. We want the good, the bad, and the ugly. So yeah, she gave it all.
That's my
She gave it
cousin.
all.
Yes, yes.
She gave it all to you. All right, but no, let's kind of dive into your makeup. We talk about your makeup on your father and everything, and so you went to Decatur High, and those who know that's when Decatur High and Austin was that right, real deal rivalry.
Yeah.
And also put in some good teams and everything as well. So it's always going. But you guys went 34-0. 34-0 your senior year. Your senior year, you was like a 2 times All State. Your junior and your 34-0, won the championship 6A. And you guys did that during part of the Butler rap. I mean the Butler Rebels tenure when they had this kind of this transition as well. If you guys don't remember those teams, Butler girls was
Oh gosh.
ridiculous,
Yes. Yes.
ridiculous.
Yes.
But then so you went through a lot of battles and you got there. So and then you went to UA. And the thing about that, I was like talk about it, the winning ways from your senior year all the way up to either to your middle way through your freshman season in Alabama. You only lost 1 or 2 games through that entire 2 year span from high school to college. And so you look at that, and you guys did a heck of a job right there. Played your 4 years, started your junior and senior year at Alabama. So you known about winning. That's what you was about winning.
Mhm.
How difficult was it for you to be able to transition from being a on the court player because you was a driving force to it, driving force on the UA team, driving force when you was in high school, of course, but transition to a coach and not be able to have as much of a hands-on effect to change it. So how difficult was that transition, and when did you decide that you want to get into the coaching ranks?
Yeah. Um, oh gosh. I never thought I wanted to coach. I
Mm,
did not finish up my playing career and think like, okay, natural next step is
progression, yeah.
I'm going to coach. I was done. Like I think I threw my hoop shoes away, and I was done. So
Really?
I'm entering the workforce, and this is coming from playing for some of the most amazing people to coach the game of basketball. Mike Smith at Decatur, even going back middle school, Pat Gray
Mm,
groomed us. And I mean, like the introduction to competitive basketball in that way. So from her, Mike Smith at Decatur, Rick Moody at Alabama, even AAU, played with shout out Stony Burks, because I started with the Limestone Tar Heels.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
but then started playing for the Twisters, and so the Johnson family, Mimi, Coach Jay, these people all created, just a basketball world that was like, man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And so going from being really, really successful at Decatur High, where coming into that program, I mean, the way it was built was like, boom, boom. Ineza Mosley was a point guard and she wore number 15. So when
Mhm.
I can't wait to get to Decatur High and wear number 15 and keep doing what she was doing. And so
Yeah.
it was the farm system in essence,
Yes, yes.
going to high school there was just amazing. And so then to get to Bama, we weren't a nationally ranked team. We had our ups and downs over the course of my career. And so I was done. I had no
Mm.
desire to go play professionally. I was done. And eventually moved back to Decatur. I was working at Nucor Steel and
Okay.
ran into Bob Harris, who was a referee, his ref from even my playing
Yeah,
days,
I remember him.
became somebody that has become a great friend. He asked me if I wanted to help out with his AAU program. And so I'm kind of like, okay, it could be a hobby, whatever. And got into it, got in the gym, and fell back in love with the game of basketball very quickly,
Mm.
and uh, connected with Tim Miller, who was at Bob Jones at the time. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And we played his team. He was at Carver in Montgomery when I was in high school. Connected with him. He's at Bob Jones, and he's like, "What are you doing? Come up here and help coach." And I'm like,
All right.
okay. And got connected with his program. And I've never, again, after playing for some really great people, got connected with Miller, and it was a whole other world of just the discipline, the pedigree, all of that stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to do this full time. And so went to West Alabama with the intent to get a do grad school, get a high school teaching certificate, and come back, because I'm like, I'm in. We won a state championship while I
Mm.
was helping out at Bob Jones. Went to the state
Okay.
tournament both years I was there. And so I'm in it. I'm sold. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to coach.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I go back and I'm in grad school, and I fell in love with the college game and said, okay, I want to stay in college. And so navigated from there, but had the opportunity to. So coaching for me is that I'm a product of being coached by some really good people, some
Mm.
really good coaches, and then jumping into it as a profession. I've had the opportunity to work for and with some really amazing people. And so
Wow.
that part of it for me, I've taken something. My dad always talks about everywhere you go, you're taking nuggets and putting it in your bag. And
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
that was what my journey, that's what it has been, where everywhere I've been. Craig Roden at West Al. My brother had the opportunity to work for him at Delta State. So
Mm.
only people that have worked with Craig Roden understand the genius of him. And so we had that we talk about that all the time. So I'm really glad my brother got the opportunity to work for him too. Um,
Wonderful, wonderful.
so I Coach Roden at West Al. I worked with Cindy Hilbert, gave me my first opportunity for a full-time position at Montevallo. So forever indebted to her. Her passion for the game of basketball and impacting the lives of the young ladies. I'd never seen passion on that level, and the way she really
Mm.
wanted to create an environment for success for the players. And then went to West Georgia, and I thought I was going to be at West Georgia forever, because I Scott Groninger, and just that environment there. I really liked it and really enjoyed it there. And he allowed me. I didn't know it at the time, but he allowed me to get ready to be a head coach, even when I didn't think I wanted to. The um, just what he allowed me to do in that program was setting me up to now be able to take the next step. And again, Kelly Brooks, who's a former coach of mine at Alabama and is still someone that's a mentor, was connected with my now athletic director here. And
Wow, small world.
so yeah, we at West Georgia, my last year there, we came down to Florida and we played Palm Beach Atlantic, first game of the season. And I got a chance to meet Courtney Lovely at that game. And it was literally because of our connection to KB that he's like, y'all need to make sure y'all meet. And so met her, and she's, stomping around, going through the gym, all the energy that she still has to this
Yeah,
day.
yes,
And not knowing that meeting was going to lead to her wanting me to come be a coach, her head coach down here for
yes,
women's basketball at PBA. And so my purpose keeps showing itself that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in the places that I'm supposed to do it. And so her trusting and believing in me, even in saying like, hey, we want you to come down here and help turn this program around and rebrand women's basketball on this campus in this community is what we were charged with. And she's gonna make it tough to go work for anybody else,
yeah,
because I now know what it feels like to work for someone that believes in
truly,
and
Carrie.
trusts in your vision and is super supportive. Is gonna give it. She always says, "I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser," and she does that.
Love
And
it,
so that's
love it.
super helpful. Again, for somebody that's gonna continue pouring out and pouring into these young ladies on a daily basis is what coaching is, right? We're so much
Yes,
more than just a coach, and so
yeah,
to be able to get poured into by her on the daily has been just amazing for my career, and in knowing that as generations change, as stuff changes, as the way that we have to approach doing this job changes and evolves,
yes,
that it's you're here on purpose, and so do the job. And so I now know what I didn't know coming out of college. I needed to go, whatever I did in those, 6 years. But I was a 30-year-old GA. And so now 10 years later, looking back at it and saying, like, man, I'm living the
it
dream,
happened.
literally. And now I'm a dress down girl. I'll dress up for
Uh-huh.
games, right? But to wear sweats and a t-shirt and go get in the gym every day is like amazing. And
Time
so
redeemed.
that part of it as a coach, and now really evolving and wanting to make sure I'm really intentional about the way that I impact the lives of the young ladies that come choose to be a part of this program. I don't take it lightly. And so wearing the role of being more than a coach for
Mhm.
them is something that I just am in love with, and
I
love
can see
coming
that.
in here, and we ride the roll. Anybody that ever hits me and they're like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm riding a roller coaster. Every day is an adventure." But I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. And so coaching is my passion, my purpose, my ministry. And so I don't want to go. I don't know
Love
how
it.
long I'm gonna be able to do it. I tried to go run sprints, man, a couple Fridays ago, and so I know I'm done. But so I'll just stay on the sidelines and talk about it, and
So it's no more you getting out there and going through. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do
no
this.
more,
Hold up now.
no more alumni games, none of it. I'm done.
2019, you did. You know, speaking of alumni game, how did you do in the alumni game? Because I didn't get a chance to make it, but I heard about it. 2019, you got down there, Austin
Yes,
Decatur. Did you
yes,
show them the
yes.
old Manisha? Did
Look,
it come out? You have a little left in the tank.
I got called playoff P. Paul Paul George in the bubble down there. He's hitting the side of the backboard. And what I can't mess
Playoff
up my
Rondo.
legacy now. I can't go out there and be trash. So
You
I'm
get
gonna retire, and whatever other capacity they might need me, I'll come do that. But now I still got it. I can still get out there and maybe do a little something.
Don't get it wrong. It's a short amount of
My
time.
players, I cannot.
Yeah,
Sprints are one thing, but if we need to get out there and get some shots up or get
we
something
with
done,
it. So you be
Coach Dixon is a godsend because he can get out there on the court and do all the other things, so I don't have to. And
yeah.
so he
I'm
does
flicking.
that part.
Still
I
got
just
this. Flick of the wrist still there.
yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
All
If I
right.
need to
I love
improve
it.
a little bit, I can. I
I want to
can.
jump in here real quick and give us some of the feedbacks of some of the comment section. You saw your sister Keisha Redus Bowens is in the house. How you doing, man? I need Tim. We need to get Tim on here as well. You know,
Need to
so
get
shout out to
Tim
Tim
on here.
Clark,
Yes,
Clark
yes.
Atlanta University, man. That was my man at UA who's there, coaching me as a GA. Love the guy. Love the
Tim's the
guy.
man. Tim's the man.
Yes, man. Then we got Carolyn Mason. She said, Manisha, love this game of basketball because I have never heard her talk this much. So she is with it. I love it. Love it. Absolutely. I'm like, yeah, she getting it in. I love it. So she didn't like working the new court or family security. Yep, this was her destiny. So this is her
Oh
destiny.
yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
so
Oh
shout out
yeah.
to Carol going to give us that real scoop, the extra scoop. Now we kind of want to transition to real quick as we kind of wind it down. Um, some of the milestones because yes, you're humble and you're supposed to be that way. And I thank you, but I'm going to toot your horn because I know that there are not that many. It takes a lot to get to the place you have gotten to. Not many people go back and follow their dreams after being for 6 years and start as a GA at age 30. I remember that. I was close in my late 20s when I jumped
Yeah.
into East Central Community College, going to the GA ranks and everything. And so that journey, it ain't easy. It's a grind. You feel like I'm not a scrub by it. Why I'm doing all these extra duties that nobody wants to do. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It really teaches you to humble yourself and really know if that's really, really what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you have you have persevered, and you remind me of like there's not that many coaches now that you are a head coach. Women coaches, even in the WNBA, there are only I think there was only 4 female coaches in the WNBA as of last year with
Yeah.
12 teams.
Yeah.
That's insanely in that not where
Right.
it needs to be at.
Yeah.
So to go a step further, I think of now because to me she's sitting on the top of the peak with Gino, with the greats that have come through. Don Staley. Don Staley to me is a patriarch that
Oh yeah.
has set the bar so high. Like I ain't know nothing about South Carolina Gamecock before she started coaching. I just didn't. I
Right.
watched Alabama, Kentucky, and Duke, and of course UConn.
Yeah.
Everybody else, okay, Baylor, Washington, living out. But
Right.
she came in. But this girl, the woman, not only was a coach, she started at Temple, but she was a player's coach. She was still playing in WNBA in
Mm-hmm.
2000. Well, I think it was 2005 when she was there. No, I'm sorry. She was playing WNBA. She was still playing as a player with the comments and still being a coach at the same time at Temple for
Yeah.
8 seasons.
Yeah.
And now she Tokyo took the later to the Tokyo, the won the gold medal to the USA team to 45-0 record. And she's going down as one of the top 15 players to ever play in the WNBA.
Yeah.
How much of an inspiration and how much you kind of look up to somebody like her who has done it and is still doing it at a great high level
Yeah.
to more of even a continuous inspiration to you guys.
Oh gosh. Dawn is the GOAT.
Mm,
Is definitely somebody that from afar is a mentor. But she sets the standard for the way she does it, the way she's, like you said, put a couple schools on the map, right? And now just continues to bust through whatever those ceilings look like when it comes to Black females being head coaches in the game. So she's the standard.
yeah.
Sometimes people say we look alike. I get
Yes.
I
Real talk. Yes, yes.
I hear that a bunch. But no, if I could be half the coach and just kind of um trendsetter that she is, because for you speak on her being a Black female doing it, in the climate that we're in, especially as it got heightened over the course of the last couple years, the way she stood firm for both as her team made decisions to do things and she had their back. You see her on Twitter sometimes, the stuff that gets thrown her way,
Yes, yes,
really, and just the way she navigates through it with a clap back if she needs to,
yes,
but
yes.
handles it with so much grace. And so it's Joni Taylor is another one, a former
Mm,
teammate of mine, that's doing it at the highest level. And so to watch, so Dawn for sure, but to watch a number of the Black female head coaches that are doing it, is motivation, it's inspiration, to continue leading and being unapologetic about doing it, and not forgetting to be magical when doing it. Like it's okay to celebrate being a Black female in this profession and being a head coach. And so to be an example for being at a predominantly white institution and having brown and Black girls on my team that come into this
yes.
environment, and so they have somebody to look up to. That now when I
Mm,
talk about being intentional about living out life and my purpose a certain way, is because of seeing the examples that I see and the way they do it. And now the players that I'm fortunate enough to coach, former players that I still try as much as I can to stay
yes,
connected with, where now they see a Black female as a professional, and what does that look like? And so if I can be something that they can look up to and say, okay, it can work in any environment and get it done, then that's what that inspiration that I see, and being able to pay that forward, that's what we're doing it for. And
mm,
so we're supposed to, um,
yes,
and so I want more of my players and former players, and some of them are, to want to be head coaches and impact Black and brown girls' lives the same way maybe that their lives have been impacted. Um, and keep it rolling in that way,
yes,
because
yes,
the percentages are so high, of Black females, Black young girls that are playing this sport, and so they need to see um, people that look like them, being leaders for them. My AD is
yes.
a Black woman, and so that's another,
Wow,
um,
wow.
for young girls, for young women in this game, um, that get to see Black women sitting in these seats, that now it's inspiration and motivation for them, that like, oh yeah, I can be that, I can do that, without feeling like they've got to compromise or not be
Yes,
authentic about who we are and what we that representation matters. I know we hear that so much right now, but it's so true. It matters. My AD just did was on a panel the other night talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it
mm,
was she spoke on those things of representation matters.
yes,
They need
yes,
to see it. Young
yes,
Black girls need to see Black females in leadership positions, so that what they're striving to be, they see it right in front of them. They don't have to look on TV
with
or go
class and
anywhere
dignity the
else.
right way.
We're right here in front of
Yes,
them. And so understanding what that assignment looks like, and so being a really good example for them, because I do. Dawn Staley's the GOAT now. And so yeah, being wanting to seeing her do well and break barriers, coaching, winning a gold medal is like crazy. And so seeing that example though is golly, as a young Black coach
yes.
doing it, that is amazing to see, and we need to see it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And real quick shout out to the gonna guys gonna head close this down. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button. Got one thing other to touch into because I really do want to hear this from you real quick. But shout out to also, I hope I don't mess the name up. Muriel Parker. She shout out to what she's doing in Candace, alongside with
Yes,
her, the girls
yes,
basketball coach, man.
yes,
I
yes.
honor you what you guys are doing. I watch it all the time. I had a chance to have Candace on the platform. Muriel, same time. we'll get on the platform because what you guys is needed and it's beautiful. It's creating a space,
Did
creating that.
Candace sing? Because oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, she did. I didn't know, but
Woo!
I found out she could sing. Oh, see, yeah, I found like, wait, you can wait a minute. So yeah, she slipped away. I didn't get a chance to peep
Okay.
out that skill set at that time,
Okay.
but I
Oh
found it
yeah.
later on a little bit too late. But yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
she she got us with that. And so now one last question is I'm gonna let you to expound on this was is because you talked about how much heightened the Black Lives Matter guy, just the diversity inclusion and
Hmm.
that time, but it was you with you being a head coach, knowing the importance of it, knowing how necessary that movement was, but it was still something you really had to be able to navigate appropriately. And I brought my mind back to how was everybody familiar with that Nick Saban, how he
Yeah.
allowed his players to have their voice and to support them in the way he
Hmm.
did. But it
Hmm.
was but you're dealing with 17, 18, 19-year-old kids,
Yeah.
and their emotion can get they
Right.
hate us. We're gonna be all about it can go crazy. It can go in so many different ways. How how critical and how much type of discussion that you probably have amongst your players, amongst your staff, as to how
Mhm.
to make sure that you allow them to express themselves, but making
Mhm.
sure that they had the
Mhm.
right understanding to the capacity. Because one thing I realized and I saw a lot going through that time is that the student athletes platform has grown. Social
Yeah.
media has made theirs 10
Right.
times bigger than ours. When we
Right.
was there, social media didn't even existed.
Yeah.
Barely MySpace. I'm
Right.
kind of thankful that it didn't because but
We're in a little
yeah,
trouble.
you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything's on a microscope now. But what I said that their voice is so large, but so much responsibility comes because everything is magnified times 10.
Yeah.
So how delicate that you have to approach that, and what was kind of the conversation like that you had with your players, your staff, the administration, to make sure that you allow the voice to be utilized in a positive way, but not to be abused or overshadowed with
Yeah.
what was going on the bottom
Yeah.
line, especially being a Christian faith church
For
or
sure.
school.
I'll start by saying this. I think our university did an amazing job of our president came out with a statement, and it didn't seem like one of those like cliche. We got to put something out, so here you go. It seemed really
Yes.
heartfelt and genuine um, to what was going on, what the movement was, what the climate was. I wear another hat here at PBA. I serve as advisor for our multicultural student programs,
Mm,
and got asked to or got put in that role, asked to do that role the spring of last year. And so
uh-huh.
this is again right in the height of a lot of stuff going on. And so wearing that hat on this campus and being able to connect with a number of our minority students here, and just wanting to have conversation with them, let them uh, be able to get the support that they need on this campus is really important to me. So had tons of conversations with minority students on this campus, with my own team. We had conversations, tons of them,
Mm,
both individually and collectively, about how they were feeling, and
yes.
letting them know that what they were feeling was okay,
Mm,
and
yes.
then
Yes.
be able to give them the support that they need. Like, and on a number of sides of it, I've got players that one of my players, her dad is a cop in Orlando,
Mm,
so he's on the front
he's
lines of
in
now.
it.
It's yes. And so her navigating that. I've got obviously a number of black and brown girls on my team that have fathers, that have brothers, that now at the height of this again after George Floyd, we're like, sheesh, that could have been my dad, that could have been
Mhm.
my brother, those kinds of things. My assistant coach is a black man. And so
Mm,
now making sure that we are, as much as he's a protector for us, we wanted to protect him and let him know that we love him and we've got
yes.
his back, whatever those emotions were. And so we in my program anyway, maybe the kids get sick of it, but we have so many real conversations.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always are. And so that was a big part of it, of like, how are you feeling? How does this make you feel, excuse me, on this campus? What is your experience like? Are you getting what you need? Are you not getting what you need? And so
Mm.
for them, again, as we were talking about being empowered, that they feel empowered to now speak on how they're feeling, what they
Yes,
need.
yes,
So
yes,
they are at least getting it out, but able to clearly communicate like, man, this is how I feel, and know that that's okay, and know that they have support. And if they aren't feeling supported, what ways can we support you guys, so that now, again, especially on a at a predominantly white institution, that they feel that they're getting the support, they feel seen, they feel heard. The motto of our multicultural group here, is to see, celebrate, and explore. And that's it. What our uniqueness is, what our diversity looks like, that we're doing that so that these young ladies get the full experience here, um,
yes,
while
yes,
they're in college, as they're growing, like you said, 17, 18 to 22 years old, that now with dealing in social media, obviously what they see on the media, media outlets even as well, that they're able to uh, get what they need to
yeah,
say
yeah.
how they
Know how to
feel,
navigate it
and
correctly.
yes, be unapologetic about that.
Yeah.
And we're hashtag to death the Black Girl Magic stuff. And so for them to understand, yep, be magical out here, be queens,
Mm.
and not feel like they've got to diminish their light in any way, based on maybe
Speak.
what anybody may see or think. And I don't want to turn it in hugely political, but we've got somebody that's right around the corner from us, that was in the White House. And so the divisiveness that stemmed from that, um, while he was in office, is tough, because
Yeah.
again, is right around the corner. And
Ooh, oh,
so
I can
it's
imagine. Yeah.
it's navigating in this space that we're in right here, was tough. But so we always, and we will continue to have the conversations. But again, I think our university does a really good job of fostering an environment. My pastor is a part of our council for intercultural engagement, and the aim is, what are we doing on this campus to make sure that the voices of our minority students, their needs are being met? What do y'all need?
Mm.
So those are the things that we're asking, my players, and again, the minority students on this campus. What do y'all need? Are you feeling supported? How can we change that? And so the communication piece of it is just really important.
Wow. Great response, great answer. All that and some, man. I, I've now, but I'm actually figuring some things out. I think my
Yeah.
partner got. She said she's a. I should get. She's a great PR. That was a great one because. Oh, she said when she said the part. I'm gonna close it out. When she said the part like how to diminish your light for anything in any way. I'm like, yeah, don't be out here thoughting. Don't be out here putting thirst traps on. Don't be doing it. All that, you know.
Right,
But
right,
she
right.
couldn't quite say that, but I can. It's my show. I can say that. Don't be doing
There
that.
you
I
go.
can see that
There you
stuff.
go.
Be a
Right.
queen. Don't do
Yes.
that. All right,
Yes.
no, but
Yes. Yes.
we're
Yes.
gonna we're gonna head up out of here, and I just figured out how to put some things on this. So we got a lot of people making comments and everything, and supporting what you're doing, what you were saying. I am so proud, and like many readers. I make sure I shout her out because it's like there got to be a family member or somebody.
That's my mom.
Oh, okay, yes, mom. So yes, so we did give you a shout. Me, we did shout you out as well with Gary as well. So, but anyway, this has been a phenomenal experience. I hope everybody on here that has enjoyed this interview, getting a chance to hear Manisha, man, and probably a light and more than you probably have ever heard her speak. And this is a platform where I want to do this, highlight somebody who comes from the same areas, backgrounds that come from North Alabama, the Decatur area, Morgan County, and to like I call this "What's Happening Now" segment here, and you see right now, man, that she is doing great things down at PBA at university and continues to. So I was just tell you to keep on pushing, keep growing, keep glowing, keep raising the next greatness, to come. And like I said, everything's been a blessing. Everybody, make sure you guys share this, share this, like this. Support the E36 Unfiltered platform, guys. And we pretty much about to be out of here. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Manisha, just a second. Thank you. Any last words, Manisha? Any last words for you?
No, thank you for this. I love the platform. I'm just getting and learning more and more about it. So thank you for doing this and for all that you do. So you keep doing your thing as well. Roll Tide. We got a big one today.
Yes.
Roll Tide.
It's going down. Oh, Miss, you're going down. Let's go. We out of here, guys. Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm your host, E. Gray, with the special guest, Manisha Redus, head coach of Palm Beach Atlantic University. Thank you very much.
Unfiltered, aka the Unfiltered room with Mr. E. Gray. Introducing all the latest names in the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound, but keep it old school. Raw interviews from local athletes, even digging off an entertainment